Hi everyone, it's Emily Gibbons from the Literacy Nest. So update on the Morphology Games bundle. As I had updated the Multisensory Phonics Games bundle, I also did it to this one. So be sure that you have, when you open up the resource and you get to the digital links in Google Slides, that you make a new copy. I highly encourage, as I had mentioned in the other tutorial, that for a lot of these games that you split screen. So you have one browser tab open to the board game on one side or whatever game it is, and then on the opposite side, open a new browser tab and just shrink down your screens so that they fit side by side to be able to share so that the student can see the games. All right, so here is one of them. I'm going to talk about, let's see, 5 different variations that I've made. So what I've done with the games is make them so that you don't have to adapt them as much. So you'll be able to play them online a little easier. I will say that for some of these games, they they really cannot be adapted for online as much as I'd like them to. But for about, I would say, 95% of them, yes, I've been able to make that work for you. Okay, so this one is for what game? Right, so that was for Spin a Word. So what happens here with this game, so that was for trans, there's an online spinner here. So when you click on that, there is a link that will come up to a site called WordWall, and I have commercial use and permission to use these game links with my resources. So you don't need the account. I'm sharing the link with you. So you just click start. You can enlarge it too, and you click spin it. And the spaces that are on here are the same ones on here. Okay. And then what I've done where you had to build the words, so you had to have the prefix, the base word, or the stem, and the meaning, is I've made these clickable, and you could click and drag them. So you can drag them into the spaces. Okay. So that makes that game a lot easier to play. Or you can just have the student type the words in. There's a text box there. Okay, so that's one of the games. I'm going to backtrack a tad and go through a few more changes as I see them. Okay, so let's talk about prefix pyramid. So obviously, if you're playing this online, you may not have red solo cups to have the student stack in front of you, but if you want to show those somehow on a camera, you can. But what I've done instead is the student is, I've just used some red solo cup clip art, and the student can just build a little pyramid by clicking and dragging the cups there as as they finish the task online. So that's how I accommodated that game. Let's go to a different one. So let's see. All right, so for this game, Disappearing Act, there's a few things going on. So you had the word cards. And so instead of having to cut the cards out, then you'll click on this link. I'm going to close out of that tab just so we don't confuse ourselves. Okay. When you click on the tab, the cards are dealt in a deck. Okay. So if you click deal, there we go. So the cards are there. All right. So that's why it's really important to split screen this so that you can share the game link and the board game side by side. So that's how I accommodated that game. And further, this has a little board game where they move pieces along. So if you wanted, I can actually just copy and paste there. Here we go. So let's see. So you have the cards. There's a virtual die there to roll. So for this, you may want to make a third browser tab open and really shrink it down. So anything that has dice, I've put this link And what you'll do, if you just need one die, just drop it down to one and then click that little pink tab, roll dice, and there you go. Okay, so that'll help you. And then these game pawns are there to move along the game board. Okay, so those are movable. All right. I talked about that. I talked about that. Okay, so I was just looking over my checklist and I think I have gone through everything. So there'll either be links to spinners, the game cards, movable pieces or word cards. And I think I've gone over everything. Let me just double check here as I go through. There are so many games here. So, but we really tried to accommodate as best we could. If there happens to be a concentration game, for instance, then we have put in a game of concentration to play. The ones that we really can't accommodate are I have who has. It's just not one that I can find a virtual way to play. And the other one is the headband one right here, because that's something that they physically wear. But I've played a version of that online. You just have the student close their eyes, and it works very, very well that way. Okay. All right, so make sure, I'm going to go back here, that you grab this updated link, make a copy, and have fun playing these games. Bye-bye.